beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Cleric, and welcome to the Lore Story. Today, we're moving on from the pre-game lore of Bloodborne, and beginning to look at some of the bosses that Nikolai has finally beat. As per usual, there will be spoilers for the game ahead, so keep that in mind. Following along with Nikolai's progress, today we will discuss Father Gascoigne and the Cleric Beast, the first two bosses available to the player after exiting the Hunter's Dream. Following along with Nikolai, let's go over the Cleric Beast, the first boss he encountered and eventually beat. Following his difficulties with this boss at the end of his first episode, Nikolai did a bit of off-camera mining and boosted his levels to a respectable level. With this little boost, he was able to beat the Cleric Beast on his first attempt. And now that he's finally done with it, let's move on to a little bit of the story behind it. Looking at the badge the Cleric Beast drops, we can see the reasoning behind its name. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beasts. This likely identifies the Cleric Beast as a prior member of the Healing Church, and possibly a hunter, as these badges were made specifically for hunters. Interestingly enough, you can summon Father Gascoigne just after the first brick troll in Central Yharnam by ringing the old hunter bell. The player can also bring him all the way to the Cleric Beast arena to aid in the boss fight. Moving on to Father Gascoigne, Nikolai was also able to take him down in his second episode, so let's talk about him. Leading up to the encounter with Father Gascoigne, the player can speak to his daughter in a window in Central Yharnam. Doing so, she will ask the player to find her mother, who has left in search of her father. She explains that her mother wears a red jeweled brooch, specifically mentioning that you can't miss it. She also gives the player the tiny music box, explaining that her mother played it to bring her father home. There are a few ways to finish her quest line, but Nikolai has locked in the telling the truth path, so we'll see the resolution in a future episode. When first arriving at the Tomb of Odin, Father Gascoigne's boss fog isn't there yet, luring the player in to start his intro cutscene, where he can be seen hacking away at a group of corpses. He remarks that the player will become one of them sooner or later, and begins his boss fight. The fight is fairly easy, being a well-balanced first encounter for new hunters. This fight serves as a learning moment for parrying and viscerals, which is an invaluable skill moving further into the game. Throughout the fight, the player can use the tiny music box received from his daughter to momentarily stun Father Gascoigne, causing him to clutch his head in pain and giving the player a moment to get in a few hits or to heal. This can only be done 3 times in his first phase, after which he will transform to his phase 2 beast form regardless of how much damage he's received. After he changes to phase 2, the music box can be used once more before it no longer stuns him. After defeating him, the player receives the Odin Tomb Key, allowing them to progress through the area. The player also receives a total of 4 insight from the fight, 1 for discovering the fight, another for seeing his phase 2 beast form, and 2 more for finishing the fight. Having defeated him, his set is now available in the Insight Bath Messengers for purchase. Looking to the repeated line in each part's description, it reads as follows. Father is the title used for clerics in a foreign land, and there is no such rank in the Healing Church. Also looking to his set, Gascoigne's garb tells us that he was once part of the Healing Church, but would later leave. After his defeat, or during the fight if you're brave enough, the player can find Father Gascoigne's wife, either slain by his hand, or possibly by those who Gascoigne is seen hacking at. On her body is found the red jeweled brooch, which can be given to his daughter to advance her questline, or turned into a very weak red blood gem. It is nice to see that Nikolai picked the objectively right choice and returned it to his daughter. This is where we'll leave the story for now. Nikolai has definitely made a lot more progress this time around, so keep an eye out for his segment, whenever that comes out, and watch as he finally makes some good progress. And as always, I'm your host, Jonathan Cleric, and thank you for tuning into the Lore Story. Be sure to check out our live streams at ZTV Goofing Off on Twitch, and our Instagram also at ZTV Goofing Off. If you, the viewer, would like to suggest a video topic, be sure to let us know on Instagram. Thanks for watching.